Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. So, as of last night, the United States announced that the final plane evacuating people from Afghanistan, Americans and those that have helped America in Afghanistan, that final plane has left the country. Now, this does leave the question to me whether everyone that helped America actually got evacuated, and whether some got left behind just for the purpose of, saying the last plane left out before August 31st. If they left people behind, that is inexcusable. But then it was inexcusable when, we keep on hearing about 13 service members being killed, which is absolutely a tragedy. These are young people from their late teens through their 20s that got killed. This could have been avoided. A lot of people are supporting Biden. Some are attacking Biden. I'm falling into the latter group here. Biden knew last year, before he took office, he knew what was coming with Afghanistan. He has known since he took office in January what was coming with Afghanistan. He could have been evacuating people since the day he took office. Instead, what was he doing? Sending more troops into Iraq illegally when they have told us to leave. Sending more troops into Syria, where our presence has been illegal under international law since day one. Arming both the Kurds and the Turks at the same time. Meanwhile, Iran has been helping Afghanistan and Iraq and Syria and Pakistan to fight against ISIS. Iran and Iraq and Syria and Afghanistan and Pakistan are all opposed to ISIS. And keep in mind, America armed and funded ISIS both directly and indirectly. Directly by CIA ops, and indirectly by continuing to support the Saudis and the Israelis, who have been shown very clearly by their own admission to support Al-Qaeda and ISIS terrorists in their country, providing aid and support to these terrorists. Make it clear, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Pakistan, and Iran, none of them have global aspirations, but ISIS does. These countries just want their own sovereignty back. That is what they want. And they're achieving it against U.S. efforts to destroy these countries. That's what Yemen wants too. They want their own sovereignty. But we are arming and funding Saudi Arabia against that genocide. And we are arming and funding Israel against the Palestinian genocide. How do we pick and choose whom we are going to save? Only by choosing who supports the American hegemony. So don't support don't voice your support for the Biden administration. Some people are still trying to blame Trump for this. Trump has been out of office for 7 months, more than 7 months. The Biden administration knew what was coming in advance and has taken no action until it was absolutely critical. People have died as a result of this administration. As a response to the bombing, the suicide bombing, the Biden administration engaged in a drone strike, which killed 10 people, 10 innocent civilians, including a 2-year-old girl. Did she help to plan a suicide bombing attack? Did that 2-year-old girl help to plan a suicide bombing in her own country, which killed some of her own people? By the way, not being reported in the media is that in the same bombing, I have heard estimates that at least 30 Taliban were killed or injured in that same bombing. So almost 3 times as many Taliban as American military members. All of it is unacceptable. All of it. So we have been there for 20 years, spent at least $2 trillion, trillion with a T, on Afghanistan. For what? To hand over the country to the Taliban that we allegedly went in there to remove from power. Meanwhile, Pakistan has opened their border to trade with the Taliban. China and Russia maintain embassies in Afghanistan and are negotiating for trade with the Taliban. They are accepting the Taliban as the de facto government that is in place. What do you think is the surest route to peace in Afghanistan and in any of these countries? The surest route to peace is negotiating with the existing government structure instead of trying to overthrow all of these governments and regime change operations. The Taliban is already talking about continuing education, including for females, expanding the rights of females. Yes, they are very authoritarian. I'm not going to claim in any way that they are good, but the Taliban today is not the Taliban that existed 20 years ago. They have learned from 20 years of conflict, death, destruction, injuries, from the U.S. coming in and killing more and injuring more Afghani civilians than the Taliban ever did. This has been reported in the Washington Post and New York Times years ago. There was never any goal that was involved. Look up the Afghanistan papers from the Washington Post and read through it. If you have not done so, you've got your head up your ass. And that's not a question. You've got your head up your ass. You cannot keep on claiming to be knowledgeable when you don't pay attention to actual investigative reports on these subjects. If you're just listening to warmongering media, then you are no better than the warmongers when you take your entire view from warmongers. CIA, military contractors, retired military people being touted as experts. Not one diplomat on any of these channels is ever given voice. So all of this has been inexcusable. And it remains inexcusable. In the end, it doesn't matter what name you want to attach to this, whether it is Trump or Biden or Obama or George W. Bush or whomever. They all work for the same people, the military-industrial complex, the Wall Street investors that demand a return on their investments in defense stocks, which are ripped out of our society as they continue year after year after year increasing defense spending. None of these countries are a threat to America. No matter what equipment was left behind in Afghanistan, none of it will reach American shores. None of it. So they are not a threat. They don't have any aspirations to be a threat. They just want us out of their countries. They're not going to attack us and invite our military back in to do more of the same. They're not going to. That is the fact. You are not in danger from Afghanistan, the Taliban, or Iraq, or Syria, or Iran. ISIS, that may be another question because they have global aspirations. But as long as we are continuing to support, to oppose the governments that are actually fighting back against ISIS, then we are giving aid and support to the terrorists, the actual terrorists that did not even exist when we went into these countries to invade and destroy and kill. At this point in time, we have absolutely nothing to offer any of these countries. Nothing that they are interested in for very good reason. Would you want someone that came in and invaded your home, destroyed your home, killed your family members, and then say, "Oh, I'm here to help you"? Would you be interested in that offer of help? Absolutely not. It's ridiculous to even think it. So, our government has left the door open for Russia and China to open up trade deals and move far ahead of the United States. That these countries are not going to trade with us anymore. They are going to cut us off. And these are countries that are very rich in mineral resources, from iron to rare earth minerals to gold to lithium to oil, etc. So the capitalists have lost. And we need to be cheering about that. Yes, we need to help offer actual humanitarian aid to whomever we can, however we can. No more bombs, no more guns, no more troops. We need to offer actual humanitarian aid. And none of that includes weapons. Humanitarian aid does not include weapons. We need to cut our defense spending to help our own people and give humanitarian aid to Americans right now. This cannot wait. All right, so share this video. Talk about these subjects. If you can, please donate $1 a month to help expand the channel, and I will catch you in the next one.